Good morning, everybody. Hey, what are the top three things that successful women in business say no to? What are the things that give them the productivity superpowers that we're all looking for to get all our to-do lists done by the end of the day and feel accomplished and feel successful and feel like we are working with a purpose? Well, let me share with you the three things successful women in business don't do today in today's episode of Coffee and Biz Chat with your business mastery mentor. That's me, Michelle Andrishak. So as I sip my coffee, if you're watching live, say hi. Let me know that you're here. If you're watching the replay, give me a hashtag replay so I can know that you've been here to learn even more business building tips and tools that I love to share with growth-minded women in business who want to develop and grow and scale a business that rewards them with amazing epic time freedom. That's why we're talking about productivity today. That flexibility that you got into business for in the first place, and you don't have to punch a clock for anybody else. And at the end of the day, processes and systems that generate profits. Who doesn't want that? So if you're here this morning having coffee with me, with Coffee and Biz Chat, say hi. Let me know what's in your cup today. So three things. One, two, three things successful women in business don't do. Well, I can tell you that they say no to what I call time vampires. In fact, their number one thing to do is they slay the top three time vampires in their day. And we're not talking about the romantic vampires of, those novels we used to read, but we're talking about the things that just suck time out of your day and don't provide any return on that investment of time. Time suckers. So what successful women in business do is, number one, identify what those time suckers in their day are. It is so worth spending 5 minutes to jot down on a piece of paper and just brainstorm. What do you think your time suckers are? Is it spending too much time, on Facebook, or letting every ding on email distract you? Put it in the comments below. What do you think your time suckers are? And how can we work together to slay those time vampires out of your day? So at the end of the day, you can be productive and you can be successful and you can stop feeling busy and exhausted and overwhelmed and start walking out of the office at the end of the day going, yeah, I slayed it today. Absolutely crushed it. So one of the top things that the vampires that come right away in your day. The very first time you open your eyes, the first time vampire shows up. What is it? What is it? Do you know? Put it in the comments. It is snoozing. The snooze button. The snooze button on your alarm clock. The snooze button on your phone. What is that? That is the very first time vampire that shows up in your day. And what highly successful, highly productive women in business do is they don't press the snooze button. Why? Because what happens when you hit the snooze button and you actually fall back to sleep, it starts another 90-minute sleep cycle. But the snooze button only lasts for 10 to 15 minutes. So you're actually waking up mid-cycle. And it really is like going through the day where, you put your laundry in the washing and you've taken it out before the spin cycle. So that's how you feel. Sluggish, right off the bat, your brain is under stress. So it has been scientifically proven by multiple universities in the US that snoozing after your alarm is like, 6 a.m. or 5 a.m. or 5:30, it goes beep, 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 and you snooze and fall back to sleep 20 minutes. then it is psychologically proven that it delays your brain in making cognitive decisions, being creative, being on your A game, being super productive, being ready to crush the day by 4 hours. Can you afford to lose the first 4 hours of your day because your brain is still not operating on its A game because you snoozed and all of a sudden it's trying to get out of the sleep cycle that you've started but didn't finish? It's like literally trying to like wear wet clothes and slug around for the first 4 hours of your day. So that is the number one thing that successful women in business don't do. They don't snooze because those first 4 hours of the day are super important. This is where we're waking up, where we're doing all the things that are making our day possible. We're planning our days. We're making cognitive business decisions. We're being creative. So when you are looking at those top 3 vampires, the first one is the snooze button. Don't let the vampire bite you right off the bat in the day. Make sure that you are getting up, not snoozing, not resetting that sleep cycle again. So your brain is actually able to make cognitive, creative, serve well in the first 4 hours every day. Think about it. If you get up at 7 and you snooze until like 7:15, your brain doesn't actually wake up to 100% until 11:15 a.m. You've already been probably sitting at your desk for 3 hours by then and wondering why you're feeling stressed and overwhelmed because your brain's not working. So that's number one. Number 2 is successful women in business do not multitask. What? Can you believe it? They do not multitask because it actually doubles the time it takes to do the both tasks together. I have a little exercise in a full webinar that I teach the tips and tools and great combinations that successful women in business use to give their superpowers, their productivity superpowers. And I actually show you in the webinar an exercise. I prove it to you that multitasking is not helping you. You're not being more efficient. You're actually doubling the time it takes to do a task. It's such an amazing, simple exercise to do. So it's in my 60-minute webinar, and I'll give you the link to that if you want to jump on and grab that 60-minute webinar where I teach you. Multitasking is not your friend. So number 3, as we wrap up Coffee and Biz Chat, I'm so excited about this today. The coffee must be kicking in. Number 3 is successful women in business don't keep everything in their head. You know how we have these little reminders that we put in our head. Oh, I have to remind myself to go to the hardware store. Oh, I have to remind myself to send that email. I have to remind myself to send out that contract. So it's all in their head. Successful women in business don't keep it in their head because it takes up too much brain space. Brain and business go together. You can't have one without the other. So learning how the brain works is so exciting for me and how it relates to business that I've put it all in the 60-minute webinar for you. And they don't keep every thought in their head. They embrace the power of what I call the brain dump. I just did my own brain dump this morning, and here it is. It's all over the place. But it's not a to-do list. It just gets every thought out of your head. So your brain has capacity to make those creative cognitive decisions. Because each time we have that little reminder pop up in our head, then the brain doesn't know how to prioritize by itself. So whether you're going to the hardware store or a walk with your favorite dog, or whether you need to pick up groceries, or whether you need to send in an important contract, the brain doesn't know which is the priority. So it thinks everything is the priority. And so when everything is the priority, what happens? We get stressed out. We get overwhelmed. So these are the top 3 things that successful women in business don't do. They don't snooze. They don't multitask. And they don't keep every thought on the to-do list in their head. They brain dump it, and brain dump often. I brain dump at least once a day. Sometimes when I'm feeling like I'm carrying too much in my head, I'll brain dump again just to release it, so that cognitive decision-making power in my brain can rev up, so I can keep going and give my productivity superpowers and feel successful and satisfied at what I've done at the end of the day versus busy. So I told you that, it really is a combination of what successful women in business do with their productivity management, their time management, their energy management, and what they don't do. So if you'd like to learn more about that, then you can certainly jump on the link below. I'm going to put a link when this video wraps up to a time management super powered webinar that you can access. You can do it anytime, and it's at your fingertips. You'll also have lifetime access. So if you find yourself slipping back, and I know we all do, we all slip back from time to time, it's okay. Just rev up again and watch something that inspires you. So if you really want to be successful and satisfied at the end of every day, then we need to learn from successful women in business and how are they being super productive throughout their day. So I have a 60-minute webinar. If you'd like a copy, just click the link underneath this Coffee and Biz Chat video, so you can find out that deep dive into what happens to your brain when you snooze and what to do when you're faced with distractions and how to develop what I call weapons against mass distraction, so you can be really productive at the end of the day. So if you have any productivity tools or tips, then put them in the comments below. I want to hear from you as well. If you're, I know I'm speaking to high performing women in business that are growth minded. So what are your tools and tips? Like, beyond the calendar management, beyond the apps, beyond the alarms. We all know how to work a calendar, but how do you make sure that at the end of every day, you feel successful, you feel like you've accomplished something, you feel productive, versus feeling that yucky, busy feeling where you're just spinning your wheels in mud and you felt busy all day long and you never really got anything done? Well, if you feel like that on a day-to-day basis, in the 60-minute webinar, I show you how to avoid that and stop feeling busy. Busy is yuck. Busy is overwhelming. Busy is, oh my gosh, I can't even breathe. I'm just so overwhelmed. But productive feels lighter, feels successful, feels like you're giving yourself a high five at the end of the day. So let's build a way so you're successful each and every day in your business, so you can grow and be profitable and be productive, and at the end of the day, feel satisfied that you have served on purpose. And your reward for that is just pure joy. So ladies, thank you so much for joining me for Coffee and Biz Chat. If you'd like to hear more about the business building tools that I have, you can also check out the previous episodes of Coffee and Biz Chat on the WOW website. So that's wowwomeninbusiness.com/bizchat. And you have a ton of free, complimentary, my gift to you, tools and tips to help you grow and scale your business so it can reward you with profit and time freedom and joy. Thanks, everybody. Have a great week. Now, remember, don't be busy, be productive, and know the difference. Thanks, everybody. Bye for now.